For more on the story, I'm joined by our business editor, Charles Pellegrin. First of all, we're talking about this aid, this European aid to the Palestinian. What exactly are we talking about?
So let's actually go back to that statement issued by the European Commission after that first statement by the European Commissioner who said that they were going to suspend all aid to Palestinians. That statement actually said that the review of financial assistance to Palestine does not concern humanitarian assistance. So, for instance, providing for vulnerable families that are subject to like shocks or emergencies and suddenly have to have healthcare, food, or even cash allowances. What does concern is what we're seeing up on the screen here, which is development finance on one hand, but also before that, financial support to Palestinian authorities' budget. So in 2022, last year, that was worth about 145 million euros, and that 145 million euros included 55 million euros for salaries and pensions in the West Bank, essentially not for Gaza. So for the Palestinian authorities there, for the government workers there, 13 million euros to help healthcare referrals for East Jerusalem hospitals, 50 million euros to supplement the income of the most vulnerable households in that area, and also because it's 2022, there was 20 million euros there to help the Palestinian Authority buy COVID vaccines. So that's the direct financial support that EU provided to Palestinians in 2022. And this happened in tandem with a continued dialogue with Palestinian authorities that was meant to encourage reform, and especially with regards to transparency and accountability of the leadership in the West Bank. The funding also concerns, and this is where we're getting to this graphic here, development programs with the goal of creating more jobs, of improving access to water and energy, and supporting cooperation initiatives between Israel and Palestine. To give you an idea of job creation, for example, in December 2020, there was a creation of a European Union Palestine investment platform that helped attract investment towards the Palestinian territories. The EU on its website says that it managed to attract 400 million euros in what they call soft loans, so loans that with small interest rates and investments. And in terms of development programs, in terms of infrastructure, that can mean desalination projects to help make water more fit for human consumption, or improving energy consumption provision. And that actually also includes projects in Gaza, which obviously has been very badly affected by this poor infrastructure, especially since the blockade. We're looking at this graphic here, which I mentioned earlier on, with the breakdown of some of the major contributions from Europe to the Palestinian territories that falls outside that parameter of humanitarian assistance, and which is more direct financial support to the Palestinian authorities. I won't go over it again, but a huge chunk to support the salaries and the pensions of government workers in the West Bank, and also a huge chunk just for really poverty alleviation, or helping the most vulnerable families deal with having very low incomes.
Now, listening to what you're saying and seeing the numbers and what it's going to, it really seems like this is a huge lifeline for the Palestinians. How much of a role does this European aid play in helping really the Palestinians stay afloat, if you will?
It's a really important plays a really important part. I mean, the EU is the biggest provider of external assistance to the Palestinian territories. This obviously including the humanitarian aid, which is not, at least according to the last European Commission statement, going to be under review, but still worth mentioning. And all these other initiatives that we talked about are very important. And I mean, the goal here is for Europe to provide crucial aid since Gaza has been under a blockade since 2007, with devastating consequences. It's worth going over some of the major stats about the situation there in Gaza. The per capita income is about a quarter of what it is in the West Bank. That was the case in 2022, according to the International Monetary Fund. Unemployment there in the first quarter of 2022 was around 46.6%, and even higher when you look at youth unemployment. unemployment over 62%, and there's all the decaying infrastructure because of that blockade that's been in place since 2007 that Israel says obviously is put in place in order to stop arms and other dangerous materials from getting into Gaza that could be a threat to Israel's existence. But this translates in the daily life for Gazans into rolling power cuts on average to about 11 hours per day. It also means like 78% of water in Gaza is unfit for human consumption. So those development programs that are funded by the EU are very difficult to implement. There's no sense of when these things will be completed, but they were at least something to look forward to improving perhaps the situation for ordinary Gazans every day.
I'm going to keep you on for a little bit longer because we're waiting for the EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell to actually speak. After this sort of back and forth about the aid, saying first they're going to suspend it, then not saying that they're going to suspend it. And as we're waiting for him to speak, even if this is a little bit looking forward and sort of trying to figure out what will happen, how much of a blow would it be if even some European nations were to say, we don't want to keep sending that aid to the Palestinians?
Well, some might argue that even the appearance of fissures within the European bloc, even the fact that the Hungarian commissioner for European neighborhood, the one who announced that the immediate suspension of payments and of EU funding to Palestine last night, that even the appearance of division is already hurting the prospects of aid to the Palestinian territories. Moving forward, it's hard to see where this is going to go. But within the European bloc, we've already seen Spain, France say that they support not suspending payments to Palestine, not just humanitarian aid, but development payments and development aid to the Palestinian territories. But we've also heard Denmark say that this needs to be suspended for now in order to be completely reconsidered, and to see whether the big thing here is the argument made by those who are against continuing this form of external financing is to see to make sure that all of this financing actually goes towards its intended goal, which is to help the lives of ordinary Palestinians, whether in the West Bank or Gaza, and not in any way, shape, or form help the efforts of a militant group like Hamas that has it in its sort of DNA to try and have an armed struggle against Israel.
Thank you very much, Charles Pellegrin, our business editor. Thank you so much.